School District. And this evening, we just really wanted to engage you all in a question and answer regarding the Reimagine Plan. I know that I see some familiar faces here that we were at ITA and ILA and spoke with them about what the proposal and the draft looks like. And we have answered those questions that you submitted. But if there are any additional questions that you have as it relates to Reimagine, we are going to walk through the slides again, and you can ask those questions, okay? So again, when we started having these conversations, it was really around, as it should be, what is in the best interest of children. And so we had to break this down into one phase and workable pieces. But again, I do want to say to everyone in here, when there is change, it can be very difficult because people don't know what's going to happen, how it's going to impact me. But keep in mind, and this is the narrative that I need for us to start unfolding. We are a team. So when I hear conversation about the district is doing this or trying to create divisiveness, that is not who we are. We cannot stand in that space and move academic achievement forward, increase our graduation rates, have students reading and computing as it relates to math by 3rd grade, if we live in a spirit of divisiveness. So we have to come together. It's very, very tough times in this country. And what I look at is, how are people showing up? How are you interacting? How are you letting your voices be heard? Because decency and in order is never a bad thing. And so anytime you have questions, concerns, my door is open, our door is open. Let's come together as a team and as a district. If we're really about children, let's really be about children, because we have some great opportunities. Will we always do it right? No, but our intentions and our motives are always very good. So we just want to make sure that you know and understand that you are important to us, your voices are important, and there may be some changes. We've already gotten great feedback from staff, students, as well as the community. We want to hear your voices, and when I talked to the teacher staff the other day, I can put my teacher hat on because I am a certified teacher. And I know and understand the sacrifices that you guys make each and every day, and we certainly cannot do this without you. So again, let's come together, and it's okay, right? It's okay to be concerned. It's okay to ask questions, but it's not okay to carry ourselves in manners that are not of high integrity and professionalism. That's how we want to show up, okay? All right, so with that being said, I believe all of you, if you did not get the questions that were already posed, we had answered some of those, then we'll just start back through the slide presentation, which I'm sure that many of you have seen several times now and are becoming more and more familiar. Maybe some it elicits more questions, and maybe some it brings you more clarity, is what we hope, okay? All right. So what the Phase 1 overview consists of, this is how the presentation is laid out. So you will see the WHRC Reimagine Phase 1 floor plan, the peace relocation process, what the curriculum will be, and we talked a lot about that as it relates to project-based learning and how that could potentially look. Certainly with project-based learning, it is a huge interactive endeavor, but it's something that we have done as a district before and many of our teachers were trained through Oakland schools, but how we would approach it is to take one part of project-based learning and explore that so that it doesn't seem so overwhelming for our students and staff who may not be familiar with the process. But you know, as educators, a lot of things are connected when we start talking about curriculum. So it's really about that project-based learning. It's about presenting a big idea or essential question, whether you do it, as I said, as a school around social emotional learning, or you take a small idea and break it down and let the kids experience success. So that's what a lot of this is about as well. How do we make things equitable for students across Pontiac School District, and how do we set our students and our staff up for success? Okay, so, and then also included in the plan is transportation, staffing, applications, and inspections. And we talked earlier this week about we did have an application process in the past, and we will have to revamp what that application process looks like and what those entry points for students will be. So that's still very much so in the draft form. A piece relocation budget, ceasing operations at Cottage, 723 Cottage, which is where Peace is located and not going to be closed, but that building, we've already been approached by an organization who's very much interested in having some services that could potentially impact our district and our community, excuse me. And then there's the bond basic budgetary review, potential future projects and pictures. And this is the reimagined floor plan.
So as we look at this floor plan, if any of you aren't familiar with WHRC, the green area is where we're proposing that Peace Academy be relocated to. Currently, that is the ILA program in that wing with some special ed classrooms. Those would be readjusted within the building. They become part of the tan coloring. That's where they physically be located and merged with the ITA K through 5 program. The light blue color, that's the middle school and high school of the ITA program as well. So as part of the relocation process, we have to go out and get bids for moving the equipment, the furniture, everything that's over at Peace and within WHRC to kind of do that big shuffle. We don't have the internal staff to do that, so that goes out as a bid. Our construction management company, Saxy, is developing those documents, presuming that the board will approve that. It'll go out right after the board meeting for bid so that we can make our summer deadlines. The end of April is when that'll go out. The basic plan is to relocate 6 classrooms right now within WHRC that Harrington Elementary uses. So that building's under construction. When it went under construction, their students and staff were scattered to a couple of different sites throughout the district. We have 4 special education classrooms from WHRC. 2 of those will be relocated to Rogers Elementary, and 2 will be relocated to Harrington Elementary. And then, as I mentioned, the realignment of ITA and ILA classrooms within the building. And then finally, it's what everybody loves, the packing, moving, and unpacking. Primarily the 20 classrooms from Peace to WHRC, but also the internal WHRC classrooms.
Okay, so ITA and WHRC K-12 ILA will be integrated into ITA, so that means that ITA will have its own separate building code. Will have its own separate building code. Those students will receive their own test scores. So it looks like a school, it acts like a school, it operates like a school, it is a school, albeit the reason that we must pivot at this point to make the school have its own building code. Peace will have a school code with a different location, so it will still be the early childhood program, It would just be located within WHIC, but it will have its own building code as well. And then again, I just explained what having its own, ITA having its own building code will mean. So here's the configuration for ITA and ILA, International Technology Academy and International Language Academy. You see that there will be, for grades kindergarten through 5th grade, a total of 438 students with 20 classrooms. We have done a walkthrough these spaces, and we also, as a result of having conversations with staff at that building, we are going to do another walkthrough tomorrow. So the staff has asked us to come and do another walkthrough. They had an opportunity to look at the maps and how we had the different areas of the school sectioned off, and they have said, can you please come and take another look, because they had some ideas and suggestions for us, and we are going to do that tomorrow. So again, the curriculum, a new school code, ILA is being integrated into ITA. K-5, Peace will continue to use their existing code. And then I talked to you guys a little bit about project-based learning. Again, it's not a new idea, but it's a new approach, especially when we talk about the opportunities for AI learning for our students. So we have a committee in the district headed by a young lady named Bree, and those teachers have been doing a phenomenal job around AI instruction. So I can also see the integration with project-based learning around artificial intelligence. So it's really an exciting opportunity for the district to look into reinvigorating and taking it to the next level, project-based learning. There will be Spanish instruction for all students in kindergarten through 5th grade. And then these are board decisions that still need to be made, with expanding capacity from 16 to 18 students per class, and expanding the program from 4 days to 5 days. And this is what I'm speaking about in terms of PEACE. So right now, PEACE is 4 days. We are proposing that they have a 5-day program. Again, we know that the governor is looking at universal pre-K for all students. And so this is one of those opportunities for us to add 2 more students to the pre-K program, as well as a 5th day. So teachers are already engaged in home visits on that 5th day. So we're asking that our students be able to come and engage in higher levels of interaction and curriculum exposure on that 5th day. We're talking about PEACE pre-K program. So again, information pre-K for all. This is just talking about in the fall of 2023, and then MDE will be required to expand the program by 26-27. So we'll be 1 year ahead, not just waiting. So we knew that this was coming. The time and the opportunity is here for us. And so currently PEACE, they have 272 students, 4 days a week, and would like to transition to a 5-day-a-week program. And that would allow teachers to follow the district calendar, because right now they have a separate calendar from the district. But it would also be working families would not have to make arrangements for childcare on families. These are some of the benefits for childcare on Fridays. Families all on the same calendar, as I said, district-wide. Increase in instructional time, increase in social emotional learning and support, potential increase in enrollment, easier transition to the kindergarten schedule. So when we talk about cradle to career, or we talk about K-12 education and college and career readiness, the best way to ensure that is to make sure that early childhood education, 5-star program that we have in the district, but that our students have a great early start for their K-12 experience. And so this is why this proposal is so critical to us as a district moving forward. So of course, in terms of teacher concerns, there are teacher PD time, time for assessments, time for home visits, time for cleaning, and time for planning. We know that there's never enough time in the day for teachers to have those cross-curricular conversations or have those grade level conversations. We know that these are concerns in terms of the amount of time that it takes, and right now the district is in testing season, and so it does take up a tremendous amount of time. Time for home visits, again, cleaning, and that planning time is also very essential. Financial change, there will be no change in salaries. Teachers, again, as I told you, they already get paid on Fridays because that's their home visit day. All monies are from GSRP, and the grant is self-sustaining. There will be an increase in per pupil for the 25-26 school year to $10,577 per student, Potential increase in GSRP grant if we also add 2 students to each classroom will be $25,000, and that $25,000 will go for setting up that classroom environment, setting up those learning centers, supplies that will be needed to get a classroom started. So that's a great benefit if we're able to add those 2 students to each of those classrooms. All right, I will turn it over to Ms. Dixon. She will come and talk to us about transportation peace routes from Frost to WHRC. Take it away.
Okay, I was going to let you go so quick. Good evening, everyone. Just want to let you know that the current number of routes for peace is, I think it's 9. That's going to remain the same. The only difference will be that the location of peace. So before it was on Cottage, now we'll be at a WHRC. The time for peace may not change. Dr. Harris wants to talk about that. Principal Harris wants to talk about that. Yeah, so transportation will not be affected in any kind of way. But I will take this time to say that we need bus drivers, so if you're interested, please head over to the Bell Center and meet the people at First Student to put in an application, because that way, you know for sure that transportation will be taken care of. So if you know anyone, send them on over to Bell Center. And that's about it. Thank you. Come on.
This is Ashley Smith coming up. She is our head of human resources. Ashley.
Happy Thursday, everyone. So what does this look like for human resources and staffing for the upcoming school year? So currently, there will be minimal changes as it relates to staffing. At our PEACE program, we know for now that our food service program there will be relocating. We'll be relocating them back to Harrington, actually, as that building will be opening up in the fall. The custodial staff, they are through one of our contract companies. They will be displaced. But if we have other openings throughout the district, we can make that available to them also. So at ITA ILA, there will be a displacement of 2 kindergarten teachers. At this time, we do have some openings in kindergarten, I believe in 1st grade. So we'll do what we can to relocate those teachers throughout the district and vacancies that we currently have.
Applications and instructions, you already talked about. Okay, so this is going to be a real high-level view of what the move costs are and our budgeting moving forward. For the PEACE relocation, there was a design phase and compliance review to make sure that we're in compliance with the state regulations. The only thing that really stood out from that review was that we needed to add carbon monoxide detectors into each of the classrooms, which we're working on getting that bid out and get that equipment installed. Furniture for the 17 classrooms, 3 of them that are going over there are special ed. They already have their furniture. That's through Lakeshore Learning. That's a consortium that we buy furniture through. It's a little over $400,000. Packing supplies, the boxes, the tape, the different location indicators, that's about $80,000. Playground equipment, so Pre-K requires specific equipment for the little kids. So we'll be putting in a new playground over there. It's $150,000. Licensing and inspection costs are about $1,000, and building modifications. If we have to make some adjustments to some doors or some restrooms, that's $100,000, totaling $741,692.74. So what are we going to do with Cottage, or with, I call it Frost Elementary, where the piece is currently located. We'll be putting that building, until we actually get it used, into a hibernation mode, we like to call it. We'll be inventorying all of the furniture and equipment and potentially repurposing that throughout the district wherever possible. The building hibernation consists of a final cleanup once everything's moved out of there. So it's spick and span and ready for the next user. We'll lower the utility utilization over there, putting it at a minimum level for electricity, water, heating, cooling, that kind of thing. We will continue our safety and security systems over there, those being fire and burglar alarms and the camera systems, door access, that kind of thing. And we'll regularly schedule security and operations inspections on a regular basis over there, just to make sure everything's working right. Currently at that location, there's a boiler that is a little janky. We need to figure out if we're going to repair that or replace it. A repair cost is about $40,000, replacement is about $350,000. So depending on what the end use of that building is, we'll determine what we're going to do with that. So cost avoidance, by going into a hibernation mode, saves us about $100,000 annually in utility costs. There will be custodial staff reduction there. It's just through moving that to an outside contractor at $72,000 a year, and there'll be 2 positions there for food service helpers and a cook. Those are actually going back to Harrington, and the rest is not going to be filled. So overall bond, as of April 4th, 25, in the bond fund, our cash flow was $691,373. We have a transfer that we're proposing from sinking fund of $5 million, and then that will replenish some monies back into the general fund that were kind of forwarded to cover some of the bond costs of $3.1 million. The anticipated bond 3 proceeds, which will be sold very soon, is $17,600,000. That's a reduction of about $1 million, just based on everything that's going on in our economy right now. The piece relocation costs are there, and then current bond projects at Harrington to finish that out. There's some projects here at the high school that need to be tidied up, and a couple of little things over at the middle school. Those are just over $14 million, which leaves us just over $5 million in bond funds. We also have $5 million at that point remaining in sinking funds to do other projects throughout the district. We also have pool equipment that was pre-purchased that, depending on the board's decision on the natatorium at this building, if we don't use them, we'll sell that equipment at a little bit of a loss, but we're hoping to get about $100,000 from that. This is a picture of the current pool. On the left-hand side is what it looks like, the bleacher system today. So we have done some upgrades in there already. We've added a video system and a new speaker system in there. The center picture is of what the pool itself looks like. Yeah, sorry. So potential future projects that we have in mind. Again, we have that $5.1 million in bond funds, $5 million in sinking funds available. We would transfer another $1 million from sinking fund to bond fund to cover project costs. Relocation of the transportation center, which today is over at the Bell Center. Creating a new parking lot and garage facility off in that corner, between the high school, the middle school, and the Oakland Schools campus. There's about 5 acres there. Currently, our facility is 3.5 acres, so it'd be somewhere between that 3.5 and 5 acres on a nice flat piece of land that's out there. It's $3.5 million. The natatorium that we have here today, our recommendation is that we don't continue building that out as a pool because of many reasons. It's not what's considered a community pool. It's not zero entry. It goes from 3 foot down to 10 foot, all the way down. So to teach little kids in there is a bit challenging, and to have elderly people come in there, we'd have to outfit it with ADA and lifts to get them out of wheelchairs, potentially into the water. So we're suggesting that we fill in the pool and recover it and create a multi-purpose room that can be used for things like robotics competitions. It could be used for dance competitions or cheerleading, any event that needs a large space. And again, it already has a video system in it, and the sound system that's in there, and that also would avoid an approximate $500,000 operational cost annually for lifeguards, for maintaining the water, for heating. It's quite a large commitment to do that. The frost, if we replace that boiler, there's $350,000 for that. And then creating, when we move the transportation center over here, we'd also suggest creating a maintenance shed or pole barn to store equipment, supplies, that kind of stuff. That's about $400,000 for that, leaving us just under $400,000 in bond funds, and we want to reduce that down to zero because we don't want to leave any money there. So we'll do projects like paving parking lots, restriping parking lots, those kinds of things, and it still leaves us $4 million in sinking fund for any unforeseen things that come up. And there's the pool. Picture that shows the pool. So this is the concept of what that multi-purpose room could look like, as these events are robotic centered. Yeah, I think everybody's well aware of how great our Wings of Fire team has been doing and over the years has done. So we want to continue those and to let them host events at our facility here. This is a couple of pictures of our current Bell Center and the reason why we're suggesting that it be relocated. In 2017, it underwent some major work, having all of the floors repaved in there, new walls built to separate the transportation department and the landscaping group that leases space from us. Now, as you can see on some of these pictures, the walls, cinder block walls are collapsing and actually pinching down door frames and solid steel door frames. The center pictures, that's the face of the Bell Center that's separating from the rest of the building. So as you can imagine, it's not a very fun place to go to and spend your day in every day. And that's the end of our presentation. We have questions on the comment cards. Heidi?
None have been turned in yet. We are ahead of schedule. We can collect questions. One of the things we're doing is any questions that are submitted either by email or if you have any you want to turn in to me tonight, we are going to answer any questions that are submitted to us and make sure that the community and staff have access to those. So we will post everything that's turned in to us online on our website. What page are they going on? On the front page, sorry, on the home page. We will do that on a regular basis throughout this process. We'll do it once a week. We'll post with any updates that we have. We try to turn those around within a 48-hour time frame, unless there's give us through the weekends of 48 business hours. If it's something that is a question that we need to get answers from the state or from Oakland schools or from the contractors, we'll let you know. Our team will respond and say, this is going to take a little bit longer due to circumstances beyond our control. If we get the same kind of questions multiple times but phrased differently, you may not see the question in your exact verbiage, but just know that, we just put it out there once, but it's the same question. If you have any questions that you don't see your question, let us know. Those can always be submitted to communications@pontiacschools.org. Always reach out if you don't see your responses. Let us know if you don't see them. Keep us on point. We're busy. We are committed to making sure we continue to communicate through this whole process. And as each phase rolls out, we want to continue to do that. So let us know, and we're excited to keep this process moving. There's a lot of moving pieces, but we'll be doing a lot of other things each step of the way. We're excited as things start to happen to get together more and show the evolution when the fun stuff starts to happen, provided this passes. This has not been voted on yet, so please know that this is not official yet. This has to be voted on Monday. This is still a draft. This is still up to be voted on. The board has to approve this. This is not official. This is not happening yet. The board votes on Monday. Board meeting will be Monday night. So this is not official yet. And I will take any cards that anyone has and keep those questions coming. Anything else anyone needs?
I just want to thank you guys for coming, and again, as we continue to have these meetings and these conversations, we want to engage with you. We want to build relationships with you. So again, I appreciate you so much for coming. Please stay tuned because great things are happening in Pontiac School District. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you.